Hello Squids, and welcome to my channel. I will be creating all different types of gaming content starting off with Monster Hunter World. Today, I'm tackling the Charge Blade with a 5 minutes or less guide covering the basics. Then, as an added bonus, armor skills, weapons, and some mixed sets. Remember, this guide is for a quick pickup to get you started on the way to becoming a master. Charge Blade Master. Let's get started. You gotta learn the basics first, Squid, before I throw you into the deep end. Let's make some bullet points. Charge Blade / axe. This weapon goes from sword and shield into a giant motherfucking axe. And back to sword and shield. Files. In the top left hand corner you'll see some energy drink bottles. Yeah, we call them files. Attacking with the sword turns them yellow, then red. When you are at a certain color, you hold R2 and press circle. You'll fill those bottles right up. 3 bottles for yellow, 5 for red. Keep attacking when those bottles are already red. Your attacks will bounce because you have too much energy. The charge double slash. This attack is the best way to get your files turning colors. Hold circle and watch the animation. Once you see the animation finish, let go instantly and you'll do a big 1-2 hit. Otherwise, hold it too long, you'll be flaccid. Pro tip, after the double slash, followed up by the triangle, put the L3 in any direction and hit circle to do a slide to evade attacks. The shield thrust. Shield thrust is the best way to get your status effects and elements in your weapon to discharge. Hit the triangle and circle together twice to do a / into a shield thrust. Or, after a double slash, hit the triangle and circle to follow it up with a shield thrust. Axe mode. This one's pretty simple. R2 and triangle. Then circle combo or triangle combo. If your shield is charged with the glow, you know what time it is. Every time you hit that circle, it's going to use one file and make a discharge. Press R2 to go back to sword and shield afterwards. Charging the sword and the shield. Let's start with charging the shield. Once you have 3 or more files filled, you can hit triangle, then circle twice, the / into a shield thrust, then once again into a SAED. During the ultra animation, cancel it with an R2. Boom. All the files will go right into your shield, giving you a nice glow effect on your shield and in the top left hand corner icon. Time to charge a sword. Once you have the shield charged, turn the files yellow and red again. When you go to put the colors in with the R2 and hit circle, hold down the triangle during the animation. You'll see a new animation. Let it finish and let go. Now you can feel the power of God coursing through your veins. AED, or Amped Elemental Discharge, but we just call it Super. This requires 1 bottle of file fill. To start this, be in axe mode and hit triangle and circle to start the animation of the SAED. We'll cover that soon. Or you can shield thrust into an SAED like mentioned previously. But here's the tricky part. You gotta hold back on the L3 while simultaneously hitting triangle. During the animation, remember hitting back on the L3 is relative to your current position. You know you've done this correctly when it only eats 1 file, plus the animation is quick. Ultra SAED. A charged shield is required to do this. Shield thrust, followed up by another triangle and circle, will start the SAED. Same with starting in axe, then triangle and circle. This baby will let loose a shockwave for each file you have filled. This is a mother of damages.
I'm Tori, and I'm here to ask you one question, and one question only. Explosions?
Guard and guard points. Guarding is essential with the charge blade. Hitting R2 is the guard, but here's where the fun part begins. Every time you guard an attack, then it doesn't knock you back on your ass. You can follow it up with a super or an ultra. But if you want to be part of the masters, you can time a block that happens in the transition between the sword and the axe, or the axe and the sword. When the shield is in front of your character during the animation, and the monster hits at that exact point of the animation, you will do something called a perfect block, which will cause no knockbacks, and the shield will discharge in the monster's face. Armor skills. These are skills in armor and gems that'll help you fight better. Here are some of the best for the Charge Blade. Guard. Guard up. Agitator. Attack up boost. Elemental crit. Weakness exploit. Focus. Capacity. Flinch free. Elemental boost. Status effects. Mind's Eye Gem. Handicraft. Slugger. Artillery. The final skill is the non-elemental skill. Now, let's talk about charge blades themselves. My top 5 charge blades I love to use personally, and I would recommend. Remember, there is a difference between impact files and power element files. Impact is all about KO damage, while element is self-explained. The Diablo Tyrannus 2. Pure, raw, unadulterated big dick on the counter damage. With it having a Helen element, non-elemental gem works just fine. Best charge blade in the game. The Gross Nadja 3. Best weapon to keep the monster locked down and shaking in his boots from paralysis. Dear Hecatalia. A classic from the old world. Best poison damage you're gonna get with the good open slots. The Avenging Magnum Manos. Blast is incredibly strong with this weapon, delivering good raw and added defense. Take it. The Halberian Blade. Burn, baby burn. Affinity and huge fire damage with decent raw. These are just my favorite. Let me know in the comments which one are yours. Mix sets / loadouts. Armor sets are good to use to get certain skills, but in reality, most sets won't complement you well. So this is where you mix armor to complement your playstyle. Here are some I use on the fly. I call this first one Raw Berry. Pure, raw damage. Nothing else to say. This one is my Guard Charge Blade set. This one is all about guard points, but still maintaining damage. So whenever you guard point, you follow it up with an Ultra or a Super. This one's my favorite. The Elemental Charge Blade Power set. This I nicknamed Captain Planet, because with this you can switch out elemental gems and weapons to whatever you're fighting that day. This one is a jack of all trades for elements. Remember, elements on weapons have a cap. When gemming in an element, watch what you don't waste the slot, because you were capped. Here's an example for fire. Here's the last one on my list, the Status Crit set. This one doesn't have a lot of armor to work with, but here's the best I could come up with. Great for status weapons. Just like the Captain Planet build, you can switch out status effects. This is an example of a poison set. That's it for today's class on the Charge Blade. Squid, I hope you learned a thing or two. You have homework tonight also. In the comments, I want you to answer this question. Can elemental files crit? And can it also be increased in damage by using artillery? Let me know. That wraps up my first video tutorial on Monster Hunter World Charge Blade. I'll be coming out with more quick tutorials and some other funny content. Stay tuned in. I'm a new budding Twitch YouTuber, trying to find his place. Throw me a like, follow, and subscribe to get more content. Don't forget to comment. Helps out a lot, guys. Follow my Twitch and my Twitter also. I'll keep updated as best as I can. Gotta start somewhere.